Hello, Matt Elliott here.
Hi, Alan Smith here.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here.
Be sure to watch
Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV
For all the latest Leicester City news and information.
You can also subscribe on YouTube and various social media channels.
for the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Come on, you foxes!
TV, your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
Right, Chris.
All right there, all right at the back. How are we doing? It's nearly Christmas. Santa's on his way. And I think we've got our Christmas present on at the weekend, didn't we? 4-0. Who saw that coming? Not me. Okay, this is Leicester Till I Die TV. It is the preview show, and this is where you can listen to us on podcasts and watch us.
Watch us on YouTube. Listen on your favourite podcast platform or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Yes, indeed. That is where we are. Now then, let me ask you a question. Are you listening? Are you sat down? Are you sitting comfortably? What were you doing on the 15th of December, 1999? I think our Spurs guest may not actually have been born or not. Craig and me were probably sort of up at the, what we would then call discos. Do they call discos? I don't know, but apparently, and we have, of course, got the Caribou Cup coming up this month, so it's quite apt. But on the 15th of December, 1999, Leicester City, who had never won a penalty shootout until the visit of Leeds United for a League Cup fourth round tie at Filbert Street. Their three previous shootouts had all ended in defeat, but that all changed after 120 minutes of stalemate. City went ahead, and we're going to test you now with these players, see how many you remember. City went first, and Icelandic in an international, it's easy for you to say, Arnar Gudlaugsson, and that wasn't easy either, kept his cool to slot home the opener. Matt Elliott and Andrew Impey were also successful to keep Leicester ahead at 3-2, and Leeds defender Gary Kelly then blazed over the bar to put the home side in charge. Now then, do you know who stepped up today, the next penalty? Theo Zacharakis. Now, there's a name blast from the past. Then shot over. Well, that's the Greeks for you, always over planning. But Leeds midfielder Ian Boyer also cracked under the pressure. He smacked his shot against the crossbar, and Muzzy is it. Netted Leicester's next spot kick to send his team through 4-2. And of course, that was just the start of the run to Wembley and winning the trophy.
Leicester City FC on this day in history with Leicester Till I Die TV.
It was the last cup final to be played, or last League Cup final to be played at the old Wembley. And I think it was in the year following Spurs beating us, when they got a goal in the dying seconds. If you remember, one of their players got sent off. The dirty Spud, that's all I will say, got sent off. Deservedly so. Nutted Robbie Savage right in the forehead. And he quite rightly got sent off. And then they went and scored. Bastards. Can I just say, important news, and this is serious now, seriously important news, that Leicester City have applied to the FA today to have their name changed. We are no longer going to be called Leicester City. We are going to now be called Manchester United Blue. Because apparently that's the only way you get anything at the FA. Call yourselves Man United, have a few players out, your game gets cancelled. Have players out at Leicester and indeed Spurs, and the FA go, not right. We'll be asking about that straight after this. It is the preview show.
It's the Premier League preview show with Chris and Craig on Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
Strap yourself in because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Good evening, gentlemen. How the devil are we both?
How's it going, Chris? I'm all good, Craig.
Yeah, I'm good. Hi, Simon. I'm good. I'm just reminiscing about that cup final, if I remember rightly.
Yes.
I was at that Spurs one, and if
Alan Nielsen, isn't it?
Alan Nielsen, yeah, and it was the late Justin Edinburgh, I think, wasn't it? Got
Yeah.
sent off.
Yes, it was.
And then I was there the following year when we won it properly, beating Tranmere.
Yes, I was there. We made that hard work as well, didn't we?
We did, didn't we? 2-1.
Yes.
Matt Elliott double. Yeah.
Can I ask something, Simon? Was that the last time you won anything?
No, it wasn't.
Was it not? Oh, I just thought it might have been last century when you actually you've won something since, have you?
2008. It was the League Cup again. 2008. It was called the Carling Cup. Oh no, it was called the Carling Cup when Jonathan Woodgate got the one.
Chris, just refresh my memory. Have we won anything since then?
Do you know what? Funny you should ask that, because I was actually on Tommy Talks Ball last night. Not on as a guest, I was just on in the chat, and I was having to remind them that I think we actually won that, didn't we? At some point, and we may have won the FA Cup as well. I'm just guessing. My memory. I'm old. My memory might be playing tricks with me. First of all, let's just say good evening to Ankit. How are you, sir? Welcome along. Almighty Blues, great channel. Get over there. And if you like being bored, he even does a cricket channel. Sorry, Ankit, couldn't resist. David, hi, Chris. Seems like you or Brad may have to hurry over to the King Power and offer your services substitutes. I tell you what, I could just stand in the middle of the goal and nothing would go past me. If you ever ask the question, who ate all the pies? Craig, good evening. How are you? Andrew, good evening, sir. How do you stay, Craig? How do you stay so young looking, Andrew? I'm not saying you have your favourites here.
He must have found out that I'm 98.
He just uses a lot of cream, but we won't go into that. And Doug, Liverpool Doug, how are you, mate? Liverpool fan, how is this game going ahead? Well, let's start with that, guys. I only just found out before I came on, because obviously it's Christmas and we're all out doing Christmas shopping and visiting family and what have you, that we both Spurs and Leicester asked for this game not to go ahead. And I'll come to you first, Craig, if I may. How the hell, Doug said, how the hell is it going ahead?
Well, I mean, from my understanding, there are set rules in terms of COVID, in terms of how many players are out. And I don't think we've come out and actually said how many have got COVID and how many have got other injuries. So I think there's a little bit grey from our point of view. I did hear as well that the FA have got some leniency in their rules. The Premier League, not the FA, based on the positions that the players available can play. So let's say, for instance, you've got your 11 plus 5. Let's say you've got 16, but 3 of them are goalkeepers and you have no defenders, which is pretty much like we have at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Then if that was all COVID, they could cancel that because you're not playing at the same level because you've got no defenders or whatever. So there is some leniency there. With Spurs, I'm not sure how it is. Obviously, you've been having to play without Harry Kane. Obviously, he's been on the pitch, but he's not contributed. So I don't know. I don't know whether those rules apply to you guys or not. But I don't know whether you've come out and said how many COVID you've got and how many other injuries.
I mean, we have virtually got a depleted back line. I know, obviously, Fofana and Justin are injured, but Simon, I know, joke about Harry Kane, but he must be rubbing his hands because we haven't got a defence. And you've just missed 3 games, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. We had one. The first one was against Brighton. Then it was the Rennes. No, it was first. It was Burnley. Then it was Rennes. Then it was Brighton. And I would love to play the Brighton one because they had 9 first-team players out. I mean, that's how sod's law. I mean, but seriously, Spurs. We reported for 14 first-team members of COVID. So I don't know how many going to be available tomorrow. Looks like we're going to have a few of them first-team players out tomorrow as well. So you can say your defence, our attacking line, is going to be shuffled again because there's no Son tomorrow. He has no Skip as well. So we're struggling as well.
Well, we literally, I don't think we have any centre-halves. I think we've got Fofana, Evans, Soyuncu, all injured. Amarty's COVID.
That's the problem then, guys, isn't it? Because with the injury, and as you said there, Craig, they're looking at, it's injuries, it's not COVID. And as you said, they're probably weighing up the situation.
That's the problem, I think, because Fofana, Justin, Evans, Soyuncu are injuries. Then we've got Vestergaard and Amarty are both COVID. Ricardo, I'm not sure about because he was coming back from an injury. But all of those, the only centre-halves we've got is Benkovic, who hasn't played since pre-season, and a young kid called Nelson, who also hasn't played.
He's only got one eye.
Pre-season. So literally, that is our centre halves with first team experience.
But that said, Craig, could we play? For example, I mean, Benkovic, you say, well, at least he's got, he's played first team football, but he's not registered, is he?
I don't think so. And to be honest, he's got. There's no way that he'll be up to match fitness at all because I don't think he's been featuring in the under-23s even. So I literally have no idea who we're going to put out at centre halves.
Kane sat there and he must be going like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, he scores against us anyway, doesn't he? I mean, he loves playing against us. So.
Well, yeah, and he does. Yeah. But this game, you know what it's like? Because Kane's not the sort of person that would ask to play in a meaningless international just so he could score a few goals and get a record. So I'm sure he's not looking at this thinking like, oh, golden boot in one match here.
He's got 11 goals in 9 games against us, so yes. I think he's going to continue it to us.
Yeah. I have a feeling he might. Yeah, Andrew says that is Nelson sponsored by Admiral. But let's just I'm just wind up here. Have a look at the game. It's going to be, like I say, it's going to carry on unless anything worse happens overnight. Thursday the 16th at the King Power, and it's a 7:30 kickoff, and it's going to be on BT Sport, Talk Sport as well, Radio Leicester, and lcfc.com/radio. We shouldn't worry about this defence anyway, Craig. I mean, it's not like we've got Man City coming up.
I know, it's a horrific run of games, isn't it? I mean, Spurs, then a little bit of respite with Everton, hopefully. Then Liverpool twice and Man City. So no need to worry.
Wow.
Yes. No need to worry about. Not that our defence was bloody keeping clean sheets all the way.
Maybe I don't know if anyway. I don't know if there's any leeway that if you haven't got enough defenders, you're allowed to play 2 goalkeepers.
I think we should approach the FA. I'll message Susan Whelan and ask her if we can do that. I mean, do you, in a way, Simon? Do you think this is going to, like I did say, you have had, you've not played now for a few weeks? Will that be good? Will you play? The players should be rested really and come back fighting fit, shouldn't they?
Well, you thought so, Chris. But to me, I think fatigue's going to kick in. Me personally, they've rested up. They couldn't train. Hotspur away was shut down for the last week and a half, so no one's training. Everyone's doing home training at home if they can, if they've got a gym at home. And so to me tomorrow, guys, I think knowing we've got players back, I don't think they're going to be up to full fitness. I think fatigue's going to kick in big time this whole selective team tomorrow. So it's not all doom and gloom, guys, for you guys tomorrow, seriously, because I do believe that majority of squad's not up to full fitness at the minute where Conte wants them, especially with the having 3 games off, not having no training. They've been training on their own. And so to me, I think fitness levels will kick in tomorrow, big time.
I mean, I've got visions now of all the Tottenham players at home on the Peloton bikes. Other exercise bikes are available. And Conte sort of being in the thing saying, come on, we can do it. It'll be the next advert for Peloton. And I've just got to ask, by the way, and I was looking what you typed then. It says hashtag Conte. I was a bit worried there that something else might have not that we hate Spurs fans, you understand that, don't you? You know, Craig, do you think would you like to be in our position where we've played and all right, we've got players out obviously, but those players that we're going to pick at least most of them have had match practice, or would you sooner be in the Spurs position where they haven't, and they're either rested or but then not match fit? Which would you prefer?
To be honest, I think you're making a very strong case, Simon, for the defence in terms of getting your excuses in early. But I think I'd rather be in Spurs camp where because to be honest, we look so depleted. I think your guys could probably put in a strong 45 minutes and then just try and win the game in 45 and then close it out. And Conte's, a past master at that kind of thing. So I would imagine if we're looking depleted at the back, as it looks like we are, I expect you guys to come out and put in a strong first 30 to try and get ahead and then try and manage the game through.
As you like you say, it's only the second clean sheet on the weekend that we kept, and I don't know if you can sort of count it as genuine. It was Newcastle after all, but going into this game, and I know you're depleted, but going into this game, you must look, even before all this COVID thing kicked up again, you must have looked, Simon, and thinking we're going to get a few against Leicester.
Well, seriously, before this COVID kicked in, before the postponements, we were beating Leeds, we beat Norwich, beat Brentford. Okay, they're not top team, but Conte's done the job. He's got the team going again. He's got them playing the style he wants. And seriously, and I was confident going to the Brighton game, the Burnley game, and I would have been very confident because I think we'll have got results against them coming into this game. But to me, I still say tomorrow, it's not. With your defence, I think we will have a lot of possession. I think we will aim for that defence qualities you got there. But tomorrow, guys, I just think what Spurs need to do and continue to do is just, as you said, we need to go at defence. And if we go at defence, as you said, Craig, I think it could be game over in the first 45 minutes. I really do. But looking forward to it, Chris. Always look forward to playing Leicester. Always look forward to it.
You normally win. No wonder you look forward to it.
Chris, they're always good games, though. Always good games. All high-scoring games. But
you're not making us feel any better here, Simon. You're really not. High-scoring games, 4-1, and to you.
6-1 was it in 2016.
Yeah. Go on. I can mute you,
But yeah, we do like coming to Leicester and playing. But I still think we will be a bit rusty tomorrow. But we should, with your defensive casualties you got there, I think we should have enough up top.
I mean, this is our record against each other, guys. We've played each other 30 times in the Premier League. It's actually tighter. I was surprised how tight this was.
Tight.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we've got 12 wins at Leicester. We've won 12. Spurs have won 13. 7 of those were home. 6 of them away for Spurs, and 5 draws. So on that, you would think it could go either way. And even looking at last season, we had the 4-2 in May, but we had the 2-0 beat you in December. So I don't know. I would find it difficult to call this, but going into the game, this is the form, and you were on. I'd be more worried now if you hadn't had the break, and that was 3 games leading up that you just played. You beat Norwich, you beat Brentford, you beat Leeds, although maybe Leeds, that's not so hard these days. We had that win, Craig, that 4-0, and we had the 4-2 over Watford, and we only managed to draw with Southampton. I was there. But, I mean, looking back at that Newcastle game, false dawn at number 3 this season?
Well, potentially, but I think we've looked strong going forward in the past month and a half. To be honest, we've even the Villa game where we ended up losing. We we created enough chances to win that game in the first half with the wrong decision making. Adversely, we made the right decisions in the Newcastle game. We passed when we should pass, and we shot when we should shoot, and we got the goals on the back of it. So I think going forward, we've been playing pretty decently. It's just been behind, and that's when we've got recognised defenders. I can see him going with. I know somebody mentioned there, Ndidi and Chowdhury. I can see it being Castagna and Ndidi, to be honest. Because at least, Castagna's a left-sided player, I think. And I think he's played it as part of a 3 anyway. So he has played as a centre-half as part of a 3. But it depends who comes in on the right-hand side, whether it's Ricardo or whether it's Daly Campbell. But
do you think we'll go 3 at the back?
Sorry?
Do you think we'll go 3 at the back purely because we've only got 3 defenders?
He might well do. He might tuck everyone in and then play Albrighton and Thomas as sort of wing backs.
Yes,
but then the thing with that is that you then want that bit of protection in front, and we haven't got that bit of protection in front because indeed he's playing at centre half, so that protection's gone as well. I don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it? And
it is. Yeah.
Two things I hope is that obviously Brendan picks a team that he thinks can get a result, and even the way things are going, I think a draw is a result for us. But also, if it doesn't go the right way, I hope that the fans recognise how depleted we are and don't get on the team's back, because we've had that better result. It would be terrible if we sort of threw that away and went back to the almost sort of Brendan out shouts that we were getting before. So
not that we've not done that twice already this season. Good evening, TM. Nice to see you. Normally TM. Pop in. You're coming to see your fellow Spurs fan here. I was going to say something then, but I'm thinking I better not. Scott, Craig, if bread.
I hope that NF shouldn't be an N.
I'm not sure. Craig, you'll have to explain that one to us, mate. You really must. So, do you think, I suppose it's a team he puts out. If we look at the team and it's still a reasonably strong team, like it was, say, for Naples, then we could go mad. But, I think if you look at the team, when we see that first team, his starting 11, we'll know how strong we're going to be. So you think do you think it will be a 3-5-2, Craig?
I'm really not sure, to be honest, because I'm trying to think who the third one might be. We've basically got
Bertrand.
It could be, couldn't it? Jeez, I was hoping he'd got COVID. Not that I would wish that on anyone. Let me just put that out there.
Yeah, cover yourself.
He's been a bit of a liability, to be honest. So I don't know. The worst thing is, isn't it, that you're almost forced when you've got a depleted backline with players playing there who don't normally play in the back line. So indeed, for a start, we know is going to be pushed back there. Fullbacks are going to be pushed into centre-half position. You can't really push up because you've got no experience of holding a line. So you will get somebody playing everyone else onside, like Bertrand did in Naples, was like 5 yards behind everyone else. So the trouble is there, isn't it? That if you start to push up, your line's going to be all over the place. So I can see us sitting in a little bit. So I don't know if he can get a 3 centre halves maybe, but I just don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see what he puts out there.
Scott says there, and this is what he meant to say, Craig, if I was Brendan, not Craig if bred, Craig, if I was Brendan, I'd put a youth team out as a gesture towards the FA for allowing the game to go ahead. Craig, we'd get fined. We would get fined.
Well, to be honest, I don't see how you can get fined if the FA are coming out and using a rule saying you've got a 25-man squad, as long as you've got players who are in that squad who play in those positions, you have to play. Then I don't see how they can then come out and say, you're playing too many young players. I don't see that. I don't see how they can have it both ways.
Oh no, but what I was I was obviously it was Man United. Team, but B, it's what players got. Simon, you sent your team to me earlier, and it looked like a 3-4-2-1. Is that what you think you'd be playing?
Conte adapts to a 3-4-3, and that's what he played at Inter and at Chelsea. So he slowly but surely, he started as a 3-5-2, and now he's adapting to the 3-4-3. And I think that's how we'll play tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, I was watching, like I say, this other Tottenham show last night, and just a couple of players that you've put in there that I don't know. Tottenham fans don't hate. That might be a big word, but maybe you wish you had other players in these positions. First of all, Dyer. They didn't seem that keen on Dyer.
Oh, Jesus Christ, it's me as well. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I hit the bullseye with the first one there.
He's not been a fan's favourite. But since Conte's come in, I'm telling you now, if it's a Conte effect, he's done it at Chelsea. And he just gets average players playing and just doing the basics well, just doing the basic defending. That's what he's got Dyer doing. He's got Dyer just playing basic defending football, and he's doing it absolutely fantastic. We're seeing a different player, absolutely not making too many silly mistakes. He's getting the ball, he's passing the ball out instead of just hoofing the ball. He's playing football from the back, and we're seeing a complete different Dyer. Seriously, he's been absolutely fantastic over the last 3 or 4 games.
Because I think that the problems come very often is when managers ask players to do things they're not capable of doing. So play within your skill set almost, and if it is basically just head it, kick it, give it to someone better, then Dyer's been pretty decent recently. You had 3 clean sheets, I think, or at least the last 2 that you played with.
2 out of the last 3, yeah.
Yeah, and I even put him in one of my fantasy teams, which is ridiculous because you were keeping clean sheets and he's cheap. But I think we almost. It's a shame for us that we've got so many injuries because. It was almost like Brendan stumbled upon something like he did last season when he had to make do. Barnes was injured and he had to make do. He changed and he went to a 2 up front. I think in the last sort of game, what you saw with Ndidi having to go back to centre half, it moved Samari back to doing what he's good at and what he won the league with Lille last season, which is a defensive midfielder who can see the game in front of him. Brendan was trying to make him into a box-to-box, and if you're not that minded, you have players running off the back of you all the time. You're not tracking runners because he's not used to it. And he was much more assured when he went back into that Ndidi role and could see the game in front of him. He could decide when to go, when not to go. So I was thinking he may have stumbled on, the right formation again, but then the additional injuries and COVID that we've had have sort of thrown it out the window a lot. But coming back to the point about Dyer, just do the basics, do what you're capable of doing. And these are all decent players. They're all Premier League players. You don't get to this level without being a player of some standard. It's just when people try and make you into something that you're not, that is the problem.
We can see your team there, Simon. And the other one that I wanted to sort of quote, where they were really going to town on, was Dele Alli.
Yeah, absolutely. Dele. To me, I've been backing this player for a long time, where everyone's been shooting him down. It's because the way he come onto the scene at Spurs exploded. This young guy come from MK Dons, lit the Premier League up. And since then, mate, he's just concentrating on his Fortnite, his social media, his own clothing brand. His football is at the back of his head at the minute. He's not on it. It's a shame because the guy is unbelievably talented footballer. His work rate is zero. He's absolutely useless. Absolutely. Apparently, he's a bad trainer. That's what Jose said when Jose was there. He doesn't train well. You can tell that on the football pitch as well. In the last couple of times he's played, just doesn't want to be out there. Just seems like he just wants to go back home, play his social media stuff. You know what I mean, and concentrate his clothing brand and things like that. But to me, Dele Alli, to me, has to move on. Me personally, but in this time here tomorrow, he's got to play because of his.
I was going to say all this, and you picked him.
Well, Simon,
this is what we got. This is what we got to
Simon, is there anybody who's available that we would know that you've not put in your team?
Maybe Davies. Maybe I think Solly's definitely out. I know that for sure. That Solly's definitely out. Skip's out. Yeah. Absolutely. Doesn't like I've seen the training ground and I haven't seen these players training. So unless they are keeping a secret from us fans as well, that's the only team I can see coming out tomorrow night. Maybe one or two trainers. Maybe Davies can play in there as well. I've been impressed with Davies as well because that's another one I wanted at the club. And yet again, it's a defender. Conte just got the best out of playing again, just defending basic, and he is Mr. Some Spurs fan call him Mr. Reliable because sometimes he is quite reliable, and but unfortunately he's not out there tomorrow. And Tanganga put in there. Seriously, that's the only ones we've got. Him, Tanganga, and Dyer as well alongside him. So
if only you'd kept Danny Rose.
No,
don't go there. But Craig, looking at that, is it who? I mean, obviously Kane goes without saying. Who else on that team do you think we should be worried at? And we start with Loris, then Tanganga, Dyer, and Sanchez. And Dele, Winks, Reguilon, Doherty, Bergwijn, Dele Alli, and Kane.
I mean, it's a solid back three that you've got there. What I would hope, depending on who we're playing, whether it's Maddison, whether it's Daka, Barnes, they are three players in my mind, from what I've seen of them.
Is Vardy available tomorrow, guys? Or
I think he's available. Yeah, so I think we're okay at front. So you could be looking at Maddison, Tielemans, Vardy, Daka, Barnes. It could be that attack is our best form of defence, to be honest. Yeah. And I would be telling any of those players. Those three players that you've got at the back there are a booking waiting to happen for a start.
Absolutely. So, two out of three there, Craig. Sanchez and Tanganga.
Yeah. So I would be going at them constantly. Just run at them. Every time you get the ball, run at them. You know you're going to get something's going to happen, whether it's free kicks, bookings, mistakes or whatever. But I like Bergwijn. I think he's not found that consistency, but there's definitely a player in there. The same with Ndombele. And I think it's attitude, a lot of it, with a lot of Spurs players. Yeah, I think you can see, on certain days and certain games, there's good players there, but it's that consistency that too many of them don't seem to be able to put onto the pitch.
Going back to Tungi, I said there, Craig, and Tungi's seriously another one like Ali. His ability is incredible. It's his work rate again, Craig. I said there, his attitude it stinks absolutely. I think it comes with the French players. I really do. Yeah. I think it's French players in the Premier League and the Pogba's, and we've had Aurier as well. Now we can go back to And I think they're just really bad trainers and a really bad attitudes, as you said there, Craig. But Ndombele, mate, on the days, incredible talented.
Yeah.
Just to sidetrack a bit, if anybody's not doing anything at 8:30, he popped in earlier, Rich Sports. Good evening, Rich. How are you? Check out the Rich Sports channel, especially if you're a Man United fan. He's got a quiz on tonight, 8:30, and we've got Brad on there representing Leicester Till I Die and Leicester City. I'm not sure. I don't know who the team is that the guy that supported is up against, but if you want to, well, Brad managed to win the last one to get through to this round. So fingers crossed, Brad. Fingers crossed for you, mate. Apparently so. So he tells me.
Wow.
You know, but hey, you know what Brad's like. He's, North Macedonia. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. Going into this game, I mean, it's quite tight, and suddenly for Leicester, we're up to 8th. Oh, the roses are smelling fine in the garden again.
Well, it'd be nice to get those 3 points, and obviously a win takes us above Spurs, even though on level on points would be automatically above them on goal difference. So it's a nice place to be, and obviously you always want the points in the bank rather than the games in hand, because they're just going to concertina up. I mean, luckily for you, it looks like your days in the Conference League are coming to an end just as ours start. But yeah, it's much nicer being that end of the table than we were looking over our shoulders a few games ago.
Simon, just quickly mentioning that because apparently you've been offered to play your game in France in the Conference League.
Yeah, absolutely. Before that, Craig, Rennes actually was going to come when the game got called off. They was going to come to the ground, to Spurs ground, and they wanted this game on, and they weren't happy with it being called off. And yes, we've offered to go to France and get this game on, and they're not playing ball with us. Them and UEFA, they're not playing ball. So I don't know. We don't know what's going on in a minute with this.
I mean,
I'd rather just get out of the competition.
Have they won the group anyway, Rennes?
Yes, they won the group.
So there's no benefit to them of playing hardball. It's not like you get kicked out and they go through. So that just seems a weird one. Yeah,
it's between us and Mora. I think it is. I think that last.
That big club, Mora. Yes.
Yeah. So if it doesn't get played, and obviously and Spurs and Rennes get the points, and if it comes that way, Mora go for and we're out anyway. So
it was you and Vitesse Arnhem in the draw, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, we've what in the next round? Do you mean, Craig?
Yeah, in the conference when it was drawn, it was Spurs or Vitesse Arnhem.
No, Rapid Vienna, was it?
No, that's who you play.
Oh, playing. That's it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yes. Sorry, Craig. It was Vitesse Arnhem. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's between us and them. So this game, it's either that we play it and we do win or lose, or they give Rennes the 3 points and then we're out of the competition. But I'd rather be out of the competition. I think it's because it's a headache of competition. It really is.
So apparently,
especially with games coming up. We've got games coming up. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. It's Mura or Tottenham to go through, and if you're wondering who they are, apparently they're a small team from London. I couldn't resist. But I mean, you see, this is what gets me, and I know we're sidetracking from the thing here, but it's interesting because, I mean, I upset a lot of people because we obviously got knocked out of the Europa. Now, first of all, I should say I don't agree with us dropping into the conference because I'm not happy at Champions League teams coming down into the Europa. So I can't then say that that Leicester should go down, but it is what it is. Now, had we stayed in, we'd have got Barcelona, wouldn't we, Craig? If we'd managed to stay in.
Potentially, you never know. Yes. I mean, you never know.
But for me, we've now got Randers, who apparently are a Danish team. Come on, Casper and Yannick, give us the info. But for me, I'd sooner... Yeah, Barcelona's a good game to play, Craig, but the chances are if we play like we've been playing pre-Newcastle, we would get beaten. Or would you prefer then say, well, no, we're in the conference, which Arsenal don't want to qualify for, Tottenham don't want to be in, but we've got a chance of playing a few more games in Europe, possibly getting to the final?
Well, for me, I think I said beforehand when we were doing the Napoli preview that I didn't think it was all doom and gloom if we were knocked out, because the way that we've been playing in the league, you could make a very strong argument to say that winning the conference is our best chance of being in the Europa League next season.
Yeah.
Because chances are, I'm going to say, unless we have a strong turnaround, and we're capable of it, it's going to be a really tight race to get in that top 6. So, if you said, right, with 5 games to go at the end of the season, you win those 5 games, you get into the Europa League, people would be saying, great, let's go for it. If you now say, right, you got 5 games to win, you win the Conference League, which means you're in the Europa League, it's almost like people turn their nose up at it all of a sudden. You should be focusing on the prize, and the prize is Europa League next season, which is the best that we could hope for, because there's no way we're going to make top 4. So I look at it and I put a positive spin on it. But that's me being an old Leicester fan who always has to try and find a positive somewhere.
The old being the operative word. Simon, I mean, come on. I mean, it's Europe. You've got to sort of, be grateful you're in. I know it's a new competition. It's the third, if you like, as you look at, Champions, Europa, and then the conference. But Spurs fans don't seem happy that you're in Europe.
No, it's not that, Chris. At the minute, mate, where we are in the league with games in hand, and if we do win in games in hand, we are in the top 4. And I think that's probably the biggest prize. I know top 4 is not a trophy, but if you can say to Spurs fan, would you want top 4 or go win that cup? Some will say go win that conference, and some may go top 4, but the big players we want to sign in the summer under Conte, they want Champions League football, guys. And the players, and these are the guys who we can attract, we can bring in. If we don't get Champions League football, they're not coming. And
but if you're in the conference and you win it, you could end up with a Leicester Spurs final. But then if you were to win that, you can say, well, look, this is the start of where we want to be.
Yeah.
Or am I just thinking, for Leicester, is it just that is, for me, as a Leicester fan, any European football is good.
But yeah, I can see where you're coming from there, Chris. I mean, some players may say, oh, do you know what? They just won that. I mean, maybe the next step, maybe is the bigger, like the Champions League next. But me personally, I want to get back into that top 4, because where Conte wants to take us in January and in the season, then 2 transfer windows, the players he wants to bring in, the players he wants, they need Champions League football. They've already said, we will come if you get Champions League football. And that's what I want. These players are just insane footballers if we can get them in. I mean, so to me, if you ask me, will I take top 4 over winning the conference? I think I'll take top 4.
Yeah. To be fair, I think we would as well, but I don't think we've got a chance of doing it, to be honest. I think it's going to be really tight. But who are the players that you've been linked with, Simon, that you think are going to come?
It's Dusan Vlahovic. That is the big one.
Is that the one that they put the 80 million price tag on?
Yeah, and Tottenham said we could play it. Daniel Levy has gave Conte. He's keeping away from it. Him and Paratici. I've got control, and they're going to say this is the player I want, and he's going to apparently, fingers crossed, he's going to listen to him. He's going to back him, and apparently Fiorentina, this guy from Fiorentina, this Vlahovic, is their number 1 target for January. 80 million euros it is. So it's not a lot of money for a 21-year-old.
I must admit, I thought I saw 100 million euros, 80 million sterling. It's
80 million euros apparently to sell in January.
And is that? That's to sell in January, is it?
Yeah, that's to sell in January.
Okay.
Yeah, that's to sell in January. If we want a deal in January, they said 80 million euros, no less. Yeah. And to me, Craig, I think 21 years old, he's top goal scorer in the Serie A at the minute. He's an unbelievable striker, and he will be the best partnership or replacement for Harry Kane.
Like I say, is that part of it in terms of funding, the fact that you would then let Harry Kane go in the summer?
apparently what's happening at the minute, he's getting a new deal. It's so strange. It's like in the summer he was going to City, his head was in Manchester. That didn't happen. He's come back, and we didn't see Harry Kane until Conte turned up. That was, unfortunately for Nuno, he didn't have Kane. I mean, he was playing, but he just wasn't. He was non-existent on the pitch. But now apparently, because Conte's come in, he wants to give it another go, and apparently he's getting a new deal. But we'll see with Harry Kane. I'll rather keep Harry Kane, because Harry Kane, to me, on the day, he's an absolute world-class striker. And we can add Flatovic into that. We can play Flatovic up top, and we can play Kane a bit deeper, because he ain't got the legs no more to keep playing that focal point up top. He loves just dropping in. And I think him and Flatovic that will explode.
Is Son still looking at signing a new deal too?
Yes, Son is apparently that deal's close. So yeah, it is. The future it's looking good, but we've got to get the players over the line. Daniel Levy's got to spend the money. The only way we will trust him if he does slap the price tags down for the players they want, and just hope he just, fingers crossed, he backs, because if he doesn't back Conte, he'll back no one, seriously. And you can't.
We'll talk Conte and Nuno in a second, because I was going to come on to that anyway. Scott just asked, out of curiosity, if Leicester and Spurs get to the Conference League final, Leicester win, does that mean Spurs come third? Scott, I like it. And we are straight after this, we are going to be talking Conte and Nuno. Straight after this.
Watch us on YouTube. Listen on your favourite podcast platform, or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Craig, we were laughing at Spurs at the start of the season. Never. They wanted manager 1, he wouldn't come. They wanted manager 2, no. Manager 7, no. And finally they got Nuno. It was always a desperate signing for them, wasn't it, really?
It looked it, didn't it? I mean, he did look like he was about 6th or 7th on the list, to be honest. And it would be great. I mean, at some point, it would be great to know what actually happened between Levy and Conte the first time round when he went for him. You know, was it a project that he was interested in, but Levy was not going to make any promises to him or offer him enough money? I'm not sure. But it did look like the worst thing is that when it all gets leaked out, and it makes you look stupid, to be honest, isn't it? You know, if you'd have been doing that in the background, you've been sifting through, fair enough, and then you come out and this is where we've gone. But the fact that you were talking to, I think, Fonseca and all of these others were being lined up, you know, they were all like a revolving door of interviews. I'm sure I saw Peter Odinwengi sitting outside the stadium in his car at one point. But yeah, it looked a strange, slightly desperate decision at the end of it.
But Simon, you've got a new director of football, haven't you, that I believe is kind of handling more of Daniel Levy's involvement on the footballing side. And it was his decision at the end of the day, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that Nuno had to go.
Well, firstly, guys, go back to what Craig said there, where he wasn't sure what was the breakdown in the summer between Conte and Levy. It was Conte, he wasn't ready to come back into management. And that was, he didn't reject Tottenham. He still had motions. He did have feelings for Inter Milan, and he wasn't ready to jump ship straight into another club. So they kept that as that. And they went, as you said, went to Fonseca, Gattuso, blah, 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 and Nuno. I think Nuno, as you said, I think he was a stopgap because he was only a 2-year contract. And I think it was a waiting gap for Conte, waiting for the chance to sack Nuno and then try and get Conte again. And apparently it was Paratici who brought Nuno in, and apparently it was his choice. To me, I did not like the choice from day one. So I wasn't happy. I was Nuno out straight away. I don't like his football. I see it was just Mourinho. I think it was the younger Mourinho, I just called him. He's just boring football. He just stands there, strokes that beard. That's all we done. There's no Conte. I don't know if Al Conte managed on that sideline for 90 minutes. He does not shut up. He's up and down that line. and he don't take no prisoners, Conte, and I think that's what Nuno did. Nuno took prisoners. I think people was undermining on what he was trying to do at Tottenham. But it's never going to work, guys. Nuno, never going to work.
It's a criticism. It's a criticism that I've thrown at Brendan for not being animated enough on the sidelines and almost wanting to be the player's friend rather than the taskmaster. And I've said to Chris on numerous occasions, you look at Conte, you look at Guardiola, Klopp, even Tuchel, they don't accept a drop in standards. Even during a game, they will be at them constantly, driving them forward. And that's what I wish we had a little bit more of in Brendan. We see it very rarely, but it's that softly encouragement. And sometimes players need a kick up the backside. And with the top level managers, that's what you get.
Simon, was it again? We're not Spurs fans, sort of. We don't know, but did it break down? Did Conte also want to bring his own backroom staff in, and he wasn't allowed to do that?
That's a load of old rubbish. Load of old rubbish. That was just a myth. I think that's just paper talk trying to cover over what the real truth was. Conte weren't ready to go into any sort of management. Even if Man United come calling, apparently he said he weren't going to go into no management in the summer. And I think what happened, with United at the time when with Ollie not doing good, I think Levy smelt Conte going to United, and I think he acted quickly. And I think Paratici, played a massive part in this because he was at Juventus for 7 years with Conte, and I think he apparently after when we lost we lost the game, I think it was Watford or something like that, and he straight on the phone. Apparently, he left the stadium straight on the phone to Conte, and apparently it just happened after that. It happened quickly, like what Mourinho did when Pochettino got sacked. Mourinho the next day, this all happened to Conte. So at the end of the day, guys, I think
it was good for Conte because he could come in and he could just demand what he wanted, couldn't he?
Absolutely, and that's what Craig said. He'll come in, he'll take no prisoners. He doesn't care who you are. Harry Kane, nothing like that. He will tell you if you're not playing, if you're not training well, you're not playing. It's simple as that with Conte. And
I've got to be honest with you. I think Conte is the best appointment you've made probably in the last decade.
Absolutely. Even like if you go back to Pochettino, he was too soft at the belly. To me, I think he was punching above weight. We was at the time, even didn't get to Champions League final. I did say he was punching above weight there.
And he was linked with you. Would you have been glad with Brendan?
Yeah, at the time, Brendan he still is a good manager. But managers go through bad patches. I do say that Leicester should keep time with Brendan because he's still a good manager. Me personally. Before Conte come in, if you said Brendan Spurs all day long, me.
Andrew'd say in there he was above Nuno for the Spurs manager's job, but Craig was above him. Apparently, Craig is behind Graham Norton, which all I can say is that's the better place to be, Craig, than have Graham Norton behind you.
Yeah, I can assure you I've been neither behind nor in front of Graham Norton. Much as I like him, I think that is one of those areas that you at least bring back in the 2 meter rule.
What was it? I saw on the news the other day. In one country, cops are walking about with 2 meter poles. I think
probably in Poland.
Boom, 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 boom. Don't give up the day job. You make my jokes actually you're funnier than my jokes. Yeah. Let's just have a look at the season so far, guys. 7th and 8th positions. You've won 8 now, Sam. We've won 6. We've drawn 4. You've drawn 1. You've lost 5 to our 6. But average goals scored per match, I'm surprised whether it's the fact that we got 4 the last time. Yeah, you're only 1.14.
Yeah, absolutely. Scoring goals. It's been the story all season. Ever since that. With Harry Kane not being right in the head, me personally, I would have dropped him. Knowing he wanted that move, we all knew that. How good of a player Harry Kane is, you're not getting the best out of him if he still wants that move. He should have been dropped, and maybe we would have gone on and scored a few more goals. But he kept playing Harry Kane. I think that was Daniel Levy up top. I think Daniel Levy kept saying to Nuno, "You're playing Kane. If he's fit, he's playing." And it's simple as that.
I think. I mean, looking from the outside, the last couple of seasons, again, correct me if I'm wrong, Simon, but Harry's not gone through a full season without picking up an injury of some kind. His ankles are a little bit dodgy at the minute. For me, when 100 million was put on the table, I'd have been taking it, to be honest,
Absolutely.
and looking at rebuilding his side.
Absolutely, Craig. I was getting called crazy. You must be mad. You want to sell Harry Kane? 120 million. That was on the table from Man City. Yeah. No less, no higher. They were saying 120 million. I would took that all day long. He's coming to 29 now. He's got them ankle injuries. I'll let City to have them ankle injuries, because he's going to have ankle injuries again. Yeah. He's not the sharpest of players no more. He's slowed right down. But the only thing with Harry Kane, he knows where the back of the net is. He'd never lose the ability, and that's it. He'll never lose his class. But to me, 120 million, I would have took that all day long. Me personally.
Just seen, Craig, Daniel Amartey is actually fit.
Is he? Is he not one of the COVID people now?
Not according to the BBC. No.
Wow.
You know how truthful the BBC is. They're that truthful that even I write for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would be a bonus, I think. Yes. Definitely, if he's
probably one of our best centre backs at the moment, and that's something we never thought we'd say.
He's been solid, to be honest. Yeah. Again, he's a player. When you ask him to come out with the ball and be the starter of attacks or whatever, it's only trouble in the making. Ask him to defend, and he can defend.
There's no Johnny Evans, guys. No Johnny Evans.
No, he's not. Apparently, it's not as bad as it looked, but he went off after 6 minutes with a hamstring against Newcastle.
That's a massive miss as well, because Johnny Evans, what a servant for Leicester he's been as well. Absolutely
do you want him?
Not in a minute. No, not. He's aged now. He's gone. But
the trouble is,
Craig is not Johnny Evans' biggest fan, even though he's probably our top scorer in the last month.
Yeah, fair enough. But you noticed how much more quicker we played when indeed he went to centre half and Johnny didn't, because he was looking to move the ball quicker forward. That's the problem I have with Johnny Evans. He slows the games down. He wants to play these sort of little triangles, and if there's nobody there, he will wait for it, rather than reacting to the game. So I thought we just almost went old school defending. I'm not a proper defender. Wilfred Ndidi, I'm not a proper defender. I'll just get the ball forward and away from me as quickly as I can, and we look much better for it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Just looking at tonight's games, Palace and Southampton are drawing. Burnley Watford has been called off
2 hours before
COVID. For COVID. And yet
COVID. That's absolutely. Apparently, there's only 4 players from Watford's team, but I don't know how true that is. But that's seriously.
I don't know. Nobody wanted to watch that game. I thought that was it.
TM says she'd let Kane go. She'd rather keep Son than Kane, says Andrew, and TM agrees. Chris, I think Brendan may have said he only would have 15 or 20 mins in him, so he wouldn't be a starter for us. Who was that? David. Kane's always been a good goal scorer. Amartey, right? Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying, David, he's fit. I don't know sort of at what level. So, looking at the Spurs squad, and I'm going to ask each of you now, Craig, I want 2 players that you would take from the current squad, fit or not, that you would have in the Leicester team, and then I'll ask you the reverse, Simon, in a minute. And you can only say 2. You can't have all 11, Simon.
It's funny, isn't it? Because not that long ago you would have taken most Spurs players.
Yes,
but then, you look at the way that we've developed and the way Spurs have dropped a little bit. That's a much harder question than it should be, because I'm not sure. Even Harry Kane, We've got Vardy and we've got Daka, who's looking great at the moment. Would I switch either of those for Harry Kane?
Not a current form, but yeah.
if you're getting them at their peak, a top level Harry Kane, he guarantees you 20, 25 goals. So, yeah, you'd have to take him. Behind that, I'm not sure. I'm a big fan of Moura. I do like Lucas Moura. Again, when he's on his game, I think he's a bit inconsistent.
Yeah,
but then I'm not sure if that inconsistency comes with not having a regular run of games. But obviously, the other one, again, at the top of his game, I would take Son. Again, that pace, you can't, but you can buy it, but it comes along with bloody expensively. So I think, I'd probably those two.
TM says you wanted Kane, Craig. Southampton have just gone 2-1 up at Palace. Thank you, Southampton. The other two games that are being played are still 0-0. Simon, two players that you would take from the current Leicester squad?
Well, as what Craig said there, I think Leicester at the minute have got a better team at the minute. I really do. Going forward wise, Tielemans is one of them. What an absolute wonderful player to watch. This guy. I'm still afraid how you still kept hold of him. I think someone's going to come in for him this summer.
I don't think he's wrong there, is he, Craig?
No, I think we're all expecting him to go, to be honest.
And one injured player for Fana. What an absolute fantastic player he was before he got injured. What a crazy moment that is. I mean, unbelievable player on it. Unbelievable. And how the hell did Arsenal not see that? Unbelievable. Seriously.
Apparently Chelsea are going to buy him in January, even if he's still injured, allegedly.
Well, it was encouraging.
It's going to tell how good he is now. I mean,
it was encouraging today. I'm sure you're the same, Simon. You see all of these rumours all over social media, but there's one or two journalists that when they pipe up, you take on board what they're saying a little bit more seriously.
Yeah,
and the guy for us is John Percy, who writes for the Telegraph, and he came out today and said that we were in discussions with Fofana for a new contract, and the same with James Justin as well. So. That's
another good player as well. Yeah.
One encouraging bit of news, and again from a recruitment point of view, to go away and find Fofana and James Justin, who was fantastic last season. James Justin, find. So that would be really encouraging if we can get.
And Dapper as well. Dapper guys, I was saying to Spurs fans when we was after the striker a year and a half ago. I said, go and get this guy. He's an unbelievable player. I'm telling you, he'll get you goals. That's what he is. He scores goals in that box. Seriously, he's a little fox in the box, guys, and he can score some good goals as well. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me that, but he's going to be a fantastic player for you guys.
Yeah, we have a feature on this show. We have many features on this show, and we change them about depending what the weather's doing. But in honour of yourself being here, Simon, this is something we've introduced recently: foot in both camps. A player who's played for Leicester and has also played for Tottenham, and there's so many to go for. I mean, Gary Lineker was tempting because he's probably the most famous, but this guy, now you may not remember him playing for you, but I think Craig will remember him, and this is this week's foot in both camps. Mr. Peter Taylor. You only had him as a player. You got the nice bit. Unfortunately, we had him as a manager. I don't know when he played for you. Was it before your time, Simon?
Before my time, yeah. It's back in the 80s. I know it's back in the 80s, but yeah, it's before I was remembering. Probably 86, 87, something like that time, something like that.
I don't remember him being particularly a bad player at all, Craig, but he was
I think he was okay.
manager.
I think he was. I don't know. He was at Palace as well. I think I'm not sure whether he was there before you or after you, but he was a decent left winger from what I remember of him.
But not a good manager.
Moving on.
That's the quickest answer Craig has ever given in the 1.5 seasons we've been doing this. Right, yeah. We're going to do some score predictions straight after this. This is what is coming up next. Brad is away travelling off for his cricket holidays tomorrow. So 10:15, it will be me and Josh doing the post-match. Craig will probably be in a pub somewhere, having staggered out of the ground, celebrating our 3 or 4-0 win.
That'd be nice.
On Friday, we have actually got another preview show for you because we're playing Everton on Sunday. And we have, well, Craig mentioned this earlier, we have a certain, should I say celebrity, Craig? Could you say celebrity? I think you could, couldn't you?
I think if you're known by just one name.
Yes.
I think so.
I think that, and it's not Kylie, guys. I'm sorry. But it is Elton. Elton is joining us at 9 o'clock on Friday. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Right. Score predictions. So we do the old Xbox score predictions, and it's not looking good for you, Simon. I mean, I've gone for 2-1. Ian Marshall's gone 2-2. Big Steve Walsh 2-1. Tags has gone 2-1. Even Steve Lynix has gone for 3-0, but then wow. Steve Lynix, in fairness, cannot stand Tottenham Hotspur. He can't stand Tottenham and he can't stand Arsenal. So he's gone 3-0, and Ian Wilson's gone 2-0. Craig, is that a little bit of too much excitement after Newcastle?
Maybe a little bit. I'm sure, again, it may be before your time, Simon, but I'm sure, a lot of Spurs fans have very happy memories of Ian Wilson. It may not be a name that is familiar to you, but he scored a fabulous own goal in the FA Cup semi-final against Spurs when you beat us 2-0 at Villa Park. So, unfortunately, a great player, really nice guy, but that standing on the Holt end at Villa Park, watching that loop over the keeper's head, is something that's going to stay with me for a long, long time.
Yeah. Can I just say, we do wish Ian all the best. He is suffering a lot of personal problems at the moment with illness and what have you. So all the best, Ian.
He's a great player, great guy.
Yeah. Thanks for joining in with that, and all the best to you. But go on, Craig. Surprise me. 3-1. It'll be
surprise. No.
3-1.
I mean, I can't honestly say that we're going to go and win this one. To be honest, I'm going to go with Marshy and go with a 2-2.
Oh, it'll be a high scoring one then. TM's gone with 2-2 as well. She remembers Peter Taylor. She says, "My time." TM, what was he like? What was he like as a player? He was shit as a manager. We had him. Put it in words, and that'll get me a YouTube ban. But what was he like? What was he like, TM? Scott has, did you say 3 or 4-0 win? Or was that 10-11? If it's a 10 or 11, I was a bit worried when Man City were getting up to the 7 that our record was going to go. But then, in fairness, they were at home and ours was away.
Doesn't count.
Simon, which way can you see this going?
Considering, guys, you got the injuries at the back. I mean, it probably easy me to say Spurs going to roll you. I mean, but it's not going to be like that because you got the attacking threat still. You got the players. You got the ability to hurt us, especially with that back three of ours. I mean, you can say about your back three. Our back three, it's not much better. I mean, okay, we've got a tiny bit more experience with the players you have out, but with Sanchez and with Tanganga, as you said there, Craig, earlier, they are reckless players. Seriously, they are a booking away every time. Seriously, so you can get at them absolutely, but if you were struggling at the back and with our attack, I think this is going to be a very tight game. But I've got to back Spurs 2-1, tight game. I've got him, and I think Harry Kane will get braced tomorrow. I think he'll continue this great run and get back onto the scoring list, and hopefully that's it. And then Kane can fly up again.
He does like a goal against us, doesn't he? But then Vardy, in fairness, quite likes a goal against Spurs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so that's what I said. As I said there, you got the attacking threat, and that's what scares me. You got some great players going forward, like Vardy. The pace of Vardy against our defence. I mean, you've got to use that tomorrow. I mean, and you got to get out.
He's even quicker than Vardy.
That's what I'm saying. You've got these kind of players. It could be your strength tomorrow. That's what you said, Craig. I mean, your attack. You could back up your
Well, if you're
defence.
coming at us, it leaves. I mean, if Brendan, he did, yeah. I mean, Brendan proved against Newcastle that he can play other than just playing out from the back. And if we can capitalise on that when you guys are coming forward and Casper is allowed to shoot it upfield and he manages not to shoot it out, we could capitalise on it. Scott's going for a 4-3. I don't think my heart will do that, to be honest with you.
You've got to play some attack, and that's the thing. If we go out, but the way Conte will set up tomorrow, he'll tell the players he's not silly. The players are not silly. How good Leicester are good going forward, and Conte will have us. I wouldn't be surprised if he renewed his Winks to help out that back three as well. I mean, he'll just drop in that older midfield and just keep trying to keep the scoring down. You know what I mean? But doesn't fill me with hope with Dele Alli, with Ndombele. These players have had minutes this season. I don't know how fit they are. If they're going to be rusty. With Bergman as well, he hadn't had minutes as well. So to me, it's going to be our fullbacks, our wing backs with Reguilon and Emerson. Touch and go apparently with him, but it looks like Doki was going to play there as well. So hopefully that's going to be our threat down the wings and get the ball into the box to Harry Kane. Because to me, with Ali and Bergwijn, I can't see them assisting Kane a lot tomorrow.
Simon, thank you so much for joining us. Give the link to Simon's YouTube is in the chat below. If you're watching on YouTube, he always welcomes us onto his channel, even if we do usually take the piss when we're sat in the chat. No, I don't, do I? I don't. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Simon, where can people find you? Give your socials a shout out.
Yeah, Chris, thank you for that. Yeah, it's Premier Hotspur TV, guys. Me and Matt. We just literally do previews and fans calling shows at the minute. We're just too busy with work, so that's all we're doing. Next one is on Saturday. We've got Liverpool on Sunday, so head over to that one, guys. At all platforms, Premier Hotspur TV. But get over to Leicester Till I Die with Chris. Absolutely fantastic channel.
Cheers, mate. Do us a favour. If you can nobble a few Liverpool players at the weekend, we'd be extremely grateful. We got them in the cup next week. Hey, thanks for coming on. I would wish you all the best for the weekend, but I wouldn't mean it. For the weekend, for Thursday, I wouldn't mean it. And I don't even say would the best team win. I just want Leicester to win. I'm sorry. I hate playing Spurs. You always do us. It's not right. But Simon, hey, take care, and I hope that with all the COVID stuff that's going on, you stay safe, mate.
Cheers, thanks, guys.
Cheers, Simon.
Thanks a lot. Take care, mate. Bye. Oh, it's a great lad, Simon. Great lad. Gives his banter and he takes his banter. December, Craig. Where are we? Here we are. It's a little bit scary. You've got Everton, who you just know are going to come back and beat us, and Gray will get a hat trick.
Then we've got Liverpool. I mean, it looks like Richarlison's out for a bit, so that's a bonus for us. So that's one down.
And then Liverpool in the Coca-Cola. That's the Coca-Cola, Carabao, whatever it's called these days. In the League Cup, we can still call it the League Cup, can't we? Yeah, Liverpool, then Man City, and I don't. I mean, it's away. No, we're away, so a 9-0 is still safe, whatever happens on that one. And then Liverpool again on the 28th. Roll on the New Year in Norwich.
If we've got any players left by then. Because I mean, Man City and Liverpool are just going to run us into the ground. You know, probably the two most relentless teams in the division.
I mean, I don't blame you for saying that, TM. I'll give you that one. If we can beat, well, we have beaten Newcastle, draw possibly with Spurs, and I probably would take that now with that the way our defence is. Although I predicted a win, I wouldn't. I was reasonably happy with the draw, and then we can beat Everton. If we lost to Man City and Liverpool, I would kind of go, it's not been a bad December. in the league-wise.
Yeah, if we can get those other points on the board, I think it helps. I mean, the way that Liverpool and Man City are playing at the moment, anything you get is a bonus. And to be honest, you start looking at trying to not damage your goal difference.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, if we could pull a point out of either of those games, then that would be a decent result, to be honest.
Carabao Cup, is it a distraction that we don't need? I mean, we want to win every game. Of course we do. We're fans. But would you sooner go further in the Carabao Cup, or would you sooner go further in the conference?
I'd take them both, but I think the way that the games come, as I say, that Liverpool and Man City league games, the chances are that we could play really well and get beat in both of those. So in some ways, you could make an argument to say, well, put a strong team out in the cup. Let's go that. I mean, you're in the semi-finals then. Anything can happen because it's a two-leg affair, whoever you get. So I part of me would like to see him put a decent team out in the Carabao Cup and see if we can get through that, and then maybe have a realistic approach to the Man City and Liverpool games, even if it's a damage limitation kind of exercise to push on in the new year once we've got some of our players back.
I still get wound up with this two-legged affair. I mean, I don't think away goals counts like it used to.
No.
But I mean, with there's so many games being played now, it's a game we don't need. Surely one. I mean, for me, I'd sooner prefer, even if it's away, I'd sooner have a one-legged game when it's all decided on the night.
I'm to be honest, I'm not going to go into that camp, Chris, because as a club who, only in recent years have been in European competition, as a fan of a club who was never in competition, in European competition, for me, I moaned when other teams moaned about the number of games. You have a lot of games if you're being successful and you're staying in competitions. So it would be hypocritical almost for me now to come out and say, well, we've got too many games because we're in Europe and we can do without this. So for me, the games are the games and you just get on and you play them.
I mean, yeah, and in fairness, Europe's not coming till February now. So it's not that it's clashing, but it's just that, with everything that's going on, I mean, let's be honest with you, the way things are going and with what's happening in a certain address in London, I don't know whether we'll still have fans in the stadium later in the season. And there can be that. We're backing up as well. Burnley Watford was cancelled. Apparently Leicester Tottenham we weren't a big enough name. And I don't know Burnley and Watford, to be honest with you, but Man United and obviously Tottenham have had a few done as well. So I just think it's obviously I want to win the league. Don't get me wrong. If we get to the final and win it, brilliant. I love it. I don't think it comes with Europe though, does it anymore?
No, and I don't think so. But again, those two-legged semis are not till the new year as well. So we hopefully
in February. That's the point, actually. In February,
so we'll be in a better position by then anyway. So for me, it's like let's try and win this game, and then we should have players back by the time February comes around. Because we're in the conference, that European League doesn't start until March, whereas we would have had a playoff game in February, I think, the Europa League. So I mean, it may work out. For us, you can't beat winning trophies, so let's go for it.
I mean, that's my attitude with the Conference League. To be honest with you, I would sooner have a chance of winning the Conference League than having one big game against Barcelona, who, in fairness, and I'm a bit older, I've actually seen them because they did a pre-season friendly. 1 year, but then not everybody has. Certainly not the younger fans, obviously, but. I am happy that that we've got the Conference League. I don't think we should be in it because again it would be two-faced of me to say when I'm against Champions League teams coming down. But I think we've got a good chance in that, to be honest with you.
I think so. You look at and there's some there's some teams in that conference with a lot of European pedigree.
Yes.
So it's not this sort of arse end of European football as a lot of people would make it out. Yes, it's not at the highest level, but in terms of where we are and our experience, there's teams with a lot more European experience in there than we have. We talked about Rapid Vienna. Rapid Vienna were always a regular European team when we were younger. But as I say, it is probably our best opportunity of being in the Europa League next season. So why not grasp the opportunity and go at it positively? Totally. And at the end of it, the only thing we haven't won is a European competition. So go for it.
That would be nice. That would be an extra little tick in the box,
And to be the first ever winners, that would be nice.
Well, exactly. I mean, that is, that's a future quiz question, isn't it? Yeah. Who were the first winners of the European? And, so that's the other reason. You reminded me, that's the other reason I want to win it. I'm just worried that we haven't got the space in our trophy cupboard, but I suppose we could always sort of borrow Spurs for a short time, couldn't we?
Yeah.
I say that now he's gone. Craig, thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Enjoy the game tomorrow night.
I shall try. Hopefully, we've got at least 11 out there. And
take your boots with you just in case.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there did look to be a bit more grit and determination in the team as well the other day, which was good to see. You
can only play who is out, who you're up against, and as Brad would say, you can't polish a turd, and the Newcastle, whoever's sort of sat in the manager's dugout. But we hadn't done well against Burnley. We couldn't beat them. We only got past Norwich thanks to a VAR decision. So you can't say that we were going to play well against a bottom three teams, because those other two were bottom three, still are, in fact. So there was a confidence about us, and it could have been a potential, a potential banana skin, but definitely. We didn't. It was a full 90 minutes that we played well, which was great. Probably the first time this season we played well for the whole 90, and we were we were finding our own players, and we were hungry for the ball. It was like watching Leicester from last season.
As I say, though, because and I know I bang on about it, but if you play out of the back quicker, it doesn't give teams a chance to get reset. And that's why we were breaking through them much quicker. We were moving it quicker. Indeed, he was getting the ball forward. It wasn't always pretty at times, but we were playing the game in their half. So for me, that was a positive, and it showed that if you move the ball quick, you get it out of defence quickly, then all our best players at the minute are all in forward position. So get the ball forward quicker, and we'll have a much better chance. And I hope that carries on tomorrow.
Indeed. And you'll be there, so say good luck, enjoy it, stay safe.
Thank you very much.
Check your new COVID restrictions for getting into the grounds.
Indeed, yeah.
Don't know what they are because I'm not going, but it is up on the Leicester website.
Yeah.
So do take care. Renee, hi, thanks for popping on just as we go in. But you can always watch it on catch up on YouTube, or of course listen to it on podcast. Craig, stay safe, buddy, and I will see you in Elton at 9:00 on Friday.
Indeed. Looking forward to it. Cheers, everyone.
Get your singing voice ready.
I will.
I can be Elton, you can be Kiki D. Don't go breaking my heart. No, maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah. Take care, buddy. Thanks very much.
Bye,
cheers. Bye-bye. Thanks to Craig, as always, my knowledgeable old sage there. He's just knowledgeable. He knows his stuff. He's going to be at the match. So, 7:30 kickoff tomorrow, 10:15 for the post-match show with me and Craig. And like I say, the preview show at 9:00 on Friday for the Everton game with Elton. Elton who, though? That is the question. We are going to be going. I didn't know what I was doing then. Then again, you could say I never know what I'm doing. We will see you. We will see you tomorrow night, 10:15. Good night, guys.
That's all, folks.
people are on the pitch. They think it's all over. It is now.